Hello.
Hello, morning.
Good morning. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you as well.
Can you? I'm trying to adjust the camera. Okay.
So we can see you perfectly.
Okay. Is it fine this way?
Yes, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you at school?
Sorry.
Are you at school?
Yes, we are at school.
No, that's okay. That's fine. Don't worry. It's perfectly understandable. No, don't worry. I think we are ready to start now. So,
okay. Is it still fine for us to start first?
Yes, no problem at all. Yes, you will start first. I'll just say hello to everyone, okay, and tell everyone why we are here, what for. So, yes, can we start? Okay, so, Gergana, can you hear us? Okay. Mihaela, is the sound okay? Okay. So we are here to.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Good. So we are very happy to see you first of all because we haven't seen you for ages, and we are finally able to talk about the results of the research that we did around the topic of snow, which is no longer what we can see when we look outside the window, but tough luck. The situation is as it is, so we just have to adjust, and it would be shame not to share the results. We have decided to work in 4 fields that will be mathematics, biology, chemistry, and physics. We know that Mihaela and her students, they have one global presentation on snow. What about you, Gergana? Is it one big presentation or is it 4 separate ones?
This meeting is being recorded.
We have 4 presentations and they're on different fields. 2 of them are more like physics, and the other 2 are more like general, but you'll see what we are speaking about.
Okay, so I think we better start now. We shouldn't wait until your internet runs out. Yes. So, Gergana, would you like to? We have agreed that you will start. You will be the first school to present the results, and then we could go for Romania. Mihaela, is it okay? Would you like to be the second ones, or would you like us to be the second ones?
Yes. Thank you.
And then we will finish. And Gergana, if you don't manage to be with us till the end of the whole meeting, that's fine. Okay, hopefully you will be able, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so over to you, Gergana. We're all ears.
Okay, so hello again for everybody from the team of Bulgaria. Today I'm here with 3 young gentlemen from 10th and 11th grade. Unfortunately, our 4th presenter is having the flu today, but one of the other students will present his presentation. We have 4 presentations. And we'll start with the first one, which is more like the first thing that kids think about when they hear snow. And this first presentation will be presented by our student, Peter. I hope that you are now able to see the screen. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll now give the floor to Peter, who will present his presentation, and the theme is how to build the snowman.
Hello there. How to build a snowman. The key history of the snowman. So let's start with the history because it's more interesting. The history of the first snowman is very unclear. However, a man called Bob Eckstein, who is the author of the history of the snowman, believes that the snowman dates back to medieval times. The same person also claims that the snowman's origin is the Netherlands. The earliest photo of a snowman was taken in 1853, which you can see on the screen. How did it all start? The story begins with the Dutch port Schenectady, which was a remote settlement that lived in everyday fear of attack. A brutal snowstorm pounded the port, and its doors were frozen open. The unfortunate soldiers asked to guard the gates decided to instead build a snowman and dress them as guards to protect the city. Steps for building the perfect snowman. The most essential part of the process of building a snowman is, of course, the snow. There are different types of snow, but the snow that is the best for building a snowman is between being wet and powdery. That way the water acts as a glue. It sticks the crystals of the snow together. If the snow is too dry, you can spray the water with some. You can spray the snow with some water, but you gotta make sure that it's not too wet. Find the perfect location. Choosing the right spot to place your snowman is very important step that many people don't think of while building their snowman. Choosing the right spot will increase the lifespan of the snowman and will prevent the melting of its facial features. Also, you also need to find flat and shaped base. Proportions. To make the perfect snowman, you also need to find the balance between the three snowballs. Usually the snowball ratio should be about 3 to 2 to 1. For a better stabilization, you also need to change the center of gravity to as low as you can to make sure that the snowman is stable. Rolling. As we all know, rolling a giant snowball is easier said than done, but we have figured out a way to make it easier for us. To give yourself a head start, try making as big as possible snowball with your hands. Then place the snowball on the ground and try rolling it around its base until you reach the desired size. When placing all the balls together to get a better stability, you can flatten the top of each ball. Decorations. For decoration, you could use your imagination. You can decorate it however you want and with whatever you want. There is something like a standard that you should follow, and here you can see some pictures of untraditional snowmen. World records. Here you can see the two world records for the world's tallest snowman and snow. And here are the specs of every single one of them. And that's it. Thanks for the attention.
Okay, just a second to change our presentation. I hope that you found Peter's presentation interesting. Maybe we can use his tips and tricks to build a snowman next winter, because our project will continue even next year. And now, as we know, snow can be quite fun, but also it could hide some dangers, especially if the weather is very cold and the roads and streets can get very slippery. That's why our next presenter prepared the presentation in order to help us manage slippery situation. And his presentation is about how to protect ourselves in slippery weather. Just a second to load it. And our next presenter is from the same class. His name is Valentin. And just a second to load the file, and I will share it with you. Maybe you'll need a minute. Yes, loading, so I can share it. Can you just confirm if you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And second to turn the screen. Yeah, I will turn the screen to Valentin. This is Valentin.
Hello, my name is Valentin, and my presentation is about tips and tricks on how to not sleep on nights. And yeah, let's start.
This is the third
Yeah. What we can do to prevent the slip and fall injuries: being in front of an icy surface can have a chilling effect. Not everywhere wears spikes or other safety devices. So what we can do to avoid the ice sheet, believe it or not, body movement can increase your stability on any ice surfaces. First, so here are some tips on how to prevent the slip falls. And first, slow down and think about your next move. Keeping your body as relaxed as possible. Place your feet more than a foot apart to have a good support base. This will help you stabilize while you're walking. Second, relax your knees and don't let them get stuck. If you can bend them slightly, this will help you to keep your balance centered and to the ground, which will stabilize your body more. Third, now you're ready to take your first step. Take a small step by placing your entire foot flat on the floor, then move your weight very slowly to the foot and bring the other foot back to the first by also leaving it flat on the ground, maintaining a broad base of support. Some people prefer to drag their feet to take chased steps. If it suits you better, do it. Just remember to place your entire foot on the ice at the same time and to maintain a support base about a foot wide. Here are a couple of things that we can buy to minimize falling injuries. First, we can buy some boots, cane, hip protectors, cap, scarves, and warm gloves. Winter boots. Choosing a good pair of winter boots can warmth and stability. Look for falling. For warmth and stability, look for the same for the following criteria: insulate and waterproof, thick non-slide soles, heels low and wide. Get a cane. Use a cane to keep your balance. Have it adjust to your size. By knocking it over and holding it closer to your body, its end should be at the height of your wrist. Ask your doctor how to use it properly, or just watch YouTube tutorial. Hip protector. Wear a hip protector. These can help you prevent hip fractures and give you more folding. Preventing heat loss by wearing a cap or scarf and warm gloves can help you in the snow days. Wearing several layers of clothing can keep you even warmer. Also, make sure you're you're clearly visible to the others on the road by wearing bright colors or reflection clothing. And thanks for the attention. That was my mistake.
Thank you, madam. So, as you saw, this was Valentin's presentation. Let me just stop this file and load the next one. As I mentioned in the beginning, we had another presenter, but unfortunately he has a cold. The last person will actually present two presentations. And the next presentation, the subject of the next presentation is slightly more broader because it's not completely connected with winter snow, but with ice and some of the applications of it. I do not want to spoil the surprise, so I'll leave it to the presenter to present the topic. And this will be Theodore, who is from 11th grade. And as you see from the first slide, the name of the boy who made the presentation is Jill, but unfortunately he is not with us today, so it will be presented by Theodore. So let me share my screen one more time. Okay. Can you see the screen? Okay, front. And now I'll show you Theodore. This is Theodore.
Hello everybody, as you already know, my name is Theodore, and the first presentation that I'm going to present you is about the Ice Bucket Challenge, so let's start. Meaning of the challenge. ALS Ice Bucket Challenge is done to promote awareness of the disease amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, which is also known as motor neuron disease, and it encourages donations to research. Founders. The challenge was co-founded by Pat Quinn and Pete Faith, and it went viral on social media during July-August 2014. Here you can see there. Rules. Within 24 hours of being challenged, participants have to record a video of themselves in continuous footage. First, they are to announce their acceptance of the challenge, followed by pouring ice into a bucket of water. Then, the bucket is to be lifted and poured over the participant's head. Then, the participant can nominate a minimum of 3 other people to participate in the challenge, whether people choose to donate, perform the challenge, or to vote for rights. History. From 1991 to early 2014, a challenge of unknown origin, often called the Cold Water Challenge, became popular on social media in areas of the northern United States and northern Norway. The task usually involved the option of either donating money into research or having to jump into cold water. First television appearance. Soon after, the challenge was brought to mainstream audiences when television anchor Matt Lauer did what was called the Ice Bucket Challenge on July 15, 2014, on ABS The Today Show and Rymanov channel. Lauer was raising money for the hospice of Palm Beach County. The challenge success. The Ice Bucket Challenge raised over $220 million worldwide. Its combination of competitiveness, social media pressure, online narcissism, and low barriers eventually led to more than 2.4 million tagged videos circulating Facebook. The challenge also benefited from a unique balance of mass interest and individual identification. Using social media as its platform, it accessed many people worldwide. Hearing its participants individually, identify potential candidates, calling them out by tagging them. It failed first. Donations. Here you can see all the organizations that donated money and additional funding recorded. Filters. On August 22nd, 2014, Dr. Brian O'Neill, a physician at the Detroit Medical Center, warned that the challenge may have adverse health effects on participants, including potentially inducing a vagal response, which might, for example, lead to unconsciousness in people taking blood pressure medications. A number of participants have sustained injuries, and at least one death has been directly linked to the challenge as a result of injuries sustained unrelated to the dumping of ice water, with another death thought to be caused by a variation of the challenge, dumping feet first to ice water. Now you can see a short video of the challenge. We have to wait for that to load. And that's the end of the presentation.
So now I will load the second presentation, that is Theodore's, and it's also connected with the topic of ice, but not the ice challenge, but a technique that some sportsmen use in order to improve their performance, and it's also connected with ice. Just a second to load this file and share it. The next presentation. Are you able to see the screen? Okay. Share. This is Theodore's presentation on ice bath and check. And now I'm giving one more time the floor to Theodore, who will present.
As you already know, the topic is ice baths, so let's start. Here you can see the content of the presentation. We'll be talking about what is an ice bath, techniques, the benefits of ice baths, the side effects and risks of ice baths, and the history. Let's start with what is an ice bath. In sports therapy, an ice bath, or sometimes cold therapy, is the training regimen usually following a period of intense exercise in which a substantial part of the human body is immersed in an ice water for a limited duration. While it is becoming increasingly popular and accepted among athletes in a variety of sports, the method is controversial with the risk of hypothermia, with the possibility of shock leading to sudden death. Many athletes have used cold water immersion after an intense exercise workout in the belief that it speeds up body recovery. However, the internal physical processes are not well understood and remain elusive. Evidence supporting cold water immersion remains inconclusive, with some studies suggesting a mild benefit, such as reducing muscle damage and discomfort and alleviating delayed onset muscle soreness, with other studies suggesting that cold water immersion may slow muscle growth and interfere with the overall training regimen. Here you can see a picture of champion weightlifter Karen Marshall taking an ice bath after the CrossFit Games in 2011. Techniques. The techniques for ice bath are ice bath versus contrast bath therapy, temperature and dimming, and ice bath versus cold baths. Bath. It is done by standing or sitting in a bucket or bath of icy water. One writer advised, don't overdo it. Wearing rubberized type booties on the feet as well as rubber grips has been recommended. Champion weightlifter Karen Marshall, who won the World Women's Weightlifting Championship in 1981, described what it was like to take an ice bath after a day of competition at the CrossFit Games 2011 in Los Angeles. He said, the first day I went in for 12 minutes and the second day for 15 minutes. They kept adding ice with the temperature at around 55 degrees Fahrenheit. The hardest part was the first 2 minutes. Others who do it often told me to just hang for 2 minutes and then it would be easy. After 2 minutes, I was done. Afterwards, I was shivering for 2 hours in the hot California sun with warm up jacket on. One report suggested that ice water is circulating. It's even colder, such that the water will be colder than measured by a thermometer, and that athletes should avoid overexposure. Physical therapist Nikki Kimball explained a way to make the bath more endurable. Over those years, I have discovered tricks to make the ice bath experience more tolerable. First, I fill my tub with 2 to 3 baths of fresh ice. Then, I add cold water to a height that will cover me nearly to my waist when I sit in the tub. Before getting in, I put on a down jacket and a hat and neoprene booties, make myself a cup of hot tea, and collect some entertaining reading material to help the next 15 to 20 minutes task. Ice bath versus contrast bath therapy. Some athletes use the technique known as contrast water therapy or contrast bath therapy, in which cold water and warmer water are alternated. One method of doing this was to have 2 tubs, one cold, 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, and another hot, 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, and to do 1 minute in the cold tub, followed by 2 minutes in a hot tub, and to repeat this procedure 3 times. Temperature and dimming. The temperature can vary, but is usually in the range of 50 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, or between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius. Some athletes wear booties to keep their toes warm or rubberized coverings around their midsection while immersed. Some drink a warm beverage such as tea. One report suggested that 10 minutes immersed in 5 degrees Celsius water was sufficient. Accounts vary about how long to be immersed and how often to do them. One advisor suggested that an athlete should take 10 2-minute ice bath treatments over a 2-week period. One account suggested immersion times should be between 10 and 20 minutes. Another suggested that immersion was from 5 to 10 minutes and sometimes to 20 minutes. There were no sources advocating being immersed for longer than 20 minutes. Ice baths versus cold baths. Several sources suggest that cold baths 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 to 28 degrees Celsius were preferable to ice baths. Physiotherapist Tony Wilson said that extremely cold temperatures were unnecessary and cold bath would be just as effective as an ice bath. Another agreed that a mere cold bath is preferable to ice baths, which are unnecessary. After the report suggested that pool water was just as good as water at a lower temperature, 20 to 15 degrees Celsius, and that 8 to 10 minutes would be sufficient time and burn the gas exceeding 10 minutes. Benefits of ice baths. First, easy stir and taking muscles. The greatest benefit of ice baths, most likely, is that they simply make the body feel good. After an intense workout, the body immersion can be a relief to sore, burning muscles, explains Gardner. Second, helps your central nervous system. A nice bath can also help your central nervous system by aiding in sleep and consequently making you feel better, having less fatigue. It can help improve reaction time and explosiveness in future workouts. Third, limits the inflammatory response. The theory is that decreasing the low temperature after exercise helps limit inflammatory response, decreasing the amount of inflammation and helping you recover faster. Fourth, decreases the effect of heat and humidity. Taking an ice bath may decrease the effect of heat and humidity. One gardener explains that an ice bath prior to a long race conditions where there is an increase in temperature or humidity and lower body temperature are feel decreased and lead to improved performance. Fifth, trains your vagus nerve. One of the main benefits of an ice bath, says certified strength and conditioning specialist Owen Broadcast, is being able to train your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is linked with the parasympathetic nervous system. Training it can help face stressful situations more adequately. Side effects and risks of ice baths. The most noticeable side effect of an ice bath is feeling very cold when you immerse your body in the cold water. But beyond this superficial side effect, there are some others to consider. The primary risk of an ice bath applies to people who have a pre-existing cardiovascular disease or high blood pressure. The decrease in core temperature and the immersion in ice constricts blood vessels and slows the flow of blood in the body, he says. This can be dangerous if you have decreased blood flow, which places you at risk for cardiac arrest or stroke. Another risk that may happen is hypothermia, especially if you are submerged in the ice bath for too long. People with type 1 and type 2 diabetes also need to be careful with ice baths since they are both associated with reduced ability to maintain core temperature during extreme temperature changes. History. Marathon runner Paula Radcliffe won the 10,000-meter event at the 2002 European Championships and attributed her victory to the use of ice baths. After that, the technique has grown in popularity. It has been used by athletes, 8 sports, and Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps, as well as other celebrities dedicated to some common practice among athletes from different sports, including American football, long distance running, volleyball, and other sports. And here you can see their picture. In the summer of 2014, the non-profit AOS Association began the Ice Bucket Challenge, which involved donors filming themselves and challenging other donors to participate, and then being dosed with a bucket of ice cold water. As a fundraising effort, it raised $16 million over a 22-day period. There are indications that ice baths may be gaining popularity with groups outside sports, such as dance. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported that some Radio City rockers use ice baths after a long day of performing hip-hop with aches and pains. Our report suggested that Madonna used ice baths after her performances, and there are indications that use of ice baths is spreading to amateur sports. Ice baths are a part of a broader phenomenon known as cryotherapy, which describes a variety of treatments when cold temperatures are used therapeutically. Cryotherapy includes procedures where a person is placed in a room with cold, dry air at temperatures as low as -135 Celsius degrees for short periods of time, and which has been used in hospitals in Poland as well as a center in London to treat not only muscular ailments but psychological problems such as depression. Occasionally, ice baths have been an ill-advised treatment of fever in young children, but that doctors were counseled not to use this technique because of the risk of hypothermia. Ice baths have been suggested to prevent muscle soreness after showering snow. In addition, there have been instances of ice bathing as an extreme bodily test by persons vying for an endurance record, such as Dutch iceman Wim Hof and Chinese record holders Ching Kesa and Jin Sungao. According to reports, doctors and scientists are studying how these people can spend an hour in the house submerged in an ice bath and survive. For almost all humans, such tasks are impossible. Thank you for your attention. The sources that I used was Wikipedia and one website called Telefon.
Thank you. Thank you, Theodore. I hope that you found our students' presentation interesting. We try to choose topics that may be somewhat controversial, but I hope that it provoked your interest, so you can make your own conclusions about using of ice and ice baths and the effect that it has on our autonomy. As you saw, Theodore's research was quite extensive. And I want to thank all of the boys who did such a wonderful job, and for you for listening to our presentation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. That was very, very entertaining and interesting. And a thought came to my mind that the last time we saw each other before Christmas, you made us hungry, and now you made us cold. Yeah, but it was really nice to watch it, and thank you. Good job, guys. Thank you very much. So, yes. Gadana, if you could pass the host to Michaela, because now it's their turn, okay?
Yes, okay, we'll start now. We are Team Romania. The topic that we are representing is winter. We tried to include our school curriculum to many subjects. It was a very hard time because of the pandemic, when the lessons were online to 15 October till 5 weeks apart from the vacation. After a long time, we are finally back to school. We started a week ago, but we have very much restrictions. Let's start with our topic, winter. What does it mean, winter? Our colleague Daria from 9th grade, class B, will tell us from a poetically structure. Yes. Din văzduh, cu plita iarnă, cerne nori de zăpadă, lungi troiene călătoare adunate în cer grămadă, fulgi zbor putesc în aer, ca un roi de fluturari, răspândind firul de viață, pe țării de metal. Ziua ninge, noaptea ninge, dimineața ninge iară, cu o zale argintie se îmbracă mândra țară. Soarele rotund și palid se prevede printre noi, ca un vis de tinerețe printre ani trecători. Personally, I'm from a class on science, and we try to make a connection to math and winter. We find the formal math, the perfect snowman, and our great colleagues will represent. Ați închis camera.
So, the formula for the perfect snowman. The perfect snowman must have some accessories: gloves, hat, scarf, stick arms, charcoal, steroid. And the height of snowman is supposed to be 1.62 meters. Okay, these snowmen have 3 snowballs. The first one must have 30 centimeters. The second one must have 50 centimeters. And the third one must have 80 centimeters for diameter. Each snowball is in proportion to the next according to the golden ratio.
Let me start telling you about the most hard winter that Romania has been going through. Maria and Giorgio will represent.
Maria, come. Maria and Giorgio.
The most difficult winter in Romania.
Do you see anything?
Yes.
Are you seeing anything?
Yes, we are. Poland is.
The worst winter in Romania took place in 1954 and it was named the Great Blizzard. According to the statistics of the National Meteorological Administration, in February 1954, the blizzard hit Romania in 4 rounds. First, February 7 to 9, February 17 to 19 February, and 23 to 24 February.
Details of the Great Blizzard. No matter how cold the winters may seem in the recent years, none of them have been compared to the severe frost that hit Romania in 1954. The Great Blizzard of 1954 made this winter the coldest in the 20th century in Romania's history. When the thickest layer of snow in history was measured, the wind of up to 126 kilometers per hour in Bucharest, as well as extremely low temperatures up to negative 25 degrees Celsius.
It was a unique phenomenon. Even today, the Great Blizzard of 1954 remains the most severe in the history of the measurements made by the National Meteorological Administration. And although there have been episodes of frosty weather all the time, no winter has brought such an extreme phenomenon in 1954 and to this day. In addition to fighting the mud and the strong winds, people also endure extremely low temperatures, up to negative 25 degrees Celsius. The military need help, so the public created a Council of Ministers of the Romanian People Republic, transmitted to the population to go outside to help the military in the removal of the snow, and to help in the food supply for people that were in isolated areas of the blizzard.
Exemplary mobilization. Aware that they risked dying of starvation or of cold in their homes, the Romanians mobilized exemplary in those days. They dug tunnels for the manure and carried the snow to the drains to Dâmbovița. The army tanks were also removed. Under the leadership of emergency district committees, workers of all ages, soldiers and militiamen took the shovels in their hands and began to pull the city out of the mud.
According to the press of the time, a new episode of blizzard hit some regions in the south and east of the country, Bucharest, Constanța, Galați, Brăila, during the days of 17, 18, 19 February 1954, almost 2 weeks away from the one at the beginning of the month. Hard work, superhuman efforts have been made to remove the snow.
People went to get their bread ration from the store on the ground floor of the former palace of the Romanian Economic Action Society. It was a big crowd. Everyone had mouths to feed. Moving around the city was extremely difficult. An employee of the store dressed in a white robe received the delivery of bread baskets and distributed to the population.
They did not forget to have fun. After the Great Blizzard, ski competitions were organized. Many Bucharest residents traveled by ski, especially in the peripheral areas, where the snow removal had not arrived.
The climate is changing. For today's youth and children, the images from the Great Blizzard from February 1954 could seem like movie scenes, not reality. Climate since then has radically changed the landscape of the season. The snow does not appear according to the calendar at the beginning of winter. It was snowing up the level of the tram. Now at the age of 80, I'm trying to adjust to the weather. I move every day. I walk as a Bucharest resident.
Let's see how animals adapt to winter season.
Temperature is an abiotic factor which influences the life of all organisms. Temperature also represents the factor that determines on a large scale how organisms are spread on our planet. Although temperature is very different among regions, there are organisms that live in higher temperatures of lower temperatures. Not all animals can endure low temperatures. There are animals that can tolerate extreme temperatures, animals that can adapt, and animals that can survive in the cold.
The most resistant animals to low temperatures are the animals that live at the poles. Some of them, apart from the fact that their body is adapted to a very cold climate, have one or more layers of fur for protection. The polar bear is a wild bear that lives in the icy areas of the Arctic Ocean, being the biggest prey animal from the land. Its life expectancy is of 40 years. It can survive temperatures of minus 40 degrees Celsius.
The polar fox is a species of carnivore animals from the Canidae family. The polar foxes, with their short ears and mouths, have a very thick fur that helps them survive up to minus 8 degrees Celsius.
The polar owl is a bird of prey that is a member of the Strigiport order, the Strigidae family. It is white and can be very quickly and easily camouflage itself in the snow.
The imperial penguin is the largest and most resilient marine bird. It can be encountered on the vast ocean ice shelves of Antarctica, surviving temperatures of minus 20 degrees Celsius and hurricane-like winds.
Walruses are big mammals semi-aquatic that live in the cold seas on the northern hemisphere. Based on the observations made on these animals, they use this planning to help them get out of the water.
Animals show psychological and behavioral transformation to low temperatures like numbness, lethargy, the winter sleep, hibernation, and migration.
Animals do not have thick clothes and shoes to survive the cold seasons like humans have, so they are forced to adapt to different ways of surviving.
Hibernation is a state of inactivity and of decreasing metabolism at animals, which means a lower temperature of the body, slow breathing, a lower rate of base metabolism.
What happens in the body of hibernating animal? The body temperature lowers, the vital functions decrease, everything becomes slow, the brain reduces its activity, the animal falls into a deep sleep.
The following are animals that hibernate in our country: the bear, the mammoth, the hedgehog, the badger, the bat, the elephant, hamster, the squirrel, the hamster, the ground squirrel, the garter snake.
Migration is a natural event that occurs as a journey of several individuals from the same species that stretches very long distance. This migration has different purposes, like finding sufficient water or food, finding a warmer climate, a breeding area, or just a place for incubation.
When they are cold, birds keep on another warm by staying very close onto the other.
Dogs are better adapted to cold than to high temperatures and will be better deal with cold than extreme heat. That is why wolves do not hibernate.
The owners of dogs panic very quickly when they take their dog outside and it starts chirping. There is not a fixed temperature that will make cats feel very good. Generally speaking, when the temperature reaches 0 degrees.
Hello again, Dennis and Maria will represent two very cool experiments. Let me introduce you to frozen water.
No.
Freezing water. Water is the name of the liquid state of H2O at standard ambient temperature and pressure. It forms precipitations in the form of rain and aerosols in the form of fog. Clouds are formed from suspended droplets of water and ice in its solid state. When finely divided, crystalline ice may precipitate in the form of slow. The gaseous state of water is steam or water vapor. Water moves continually through the water cycle of evaporation, transpiration, and condensation, precipitations, and runoff, usually reaching the sea.
Freezing is a phase of transition where the liquid turns into a solid when its temperature is lower below its freezing point. For most substances, the melting and freezing points are the same temperature. The melting point of a substance is the temperature at which it changes state from solid to liquid. At the melting point, the solid and liquid phase exist in equilibrium.
The freezing and melting point of water. The freezing point or melting point of water is the temperature at which water changes phase from a liquid to a solid or vice versa. Ordinarily, the freezing point of the water and melting point is 0 degrees Celsius. The freeze water needs a seed crystal or other small particles, nucleus, on which to form crystals, while dust or impurities normally offer a nucleus. Very pure water won't crystallize until the structure of liquid water molecules approaches that of solid ice. The creation of a nucleus implies the formation of an interface at the boundaries of the new phase.
Okay. In our experiment, we used like nucleus, great berries that have been frozen before. And then we have another experiment, and the ice and the boiling water. The experiment shows the phenomenon of heat conduction in liquids. A piece of ice is inserted into a test tube with water. For that, the ice doesn't rise to the surface. A few small metal weights are placed on top of it. Water has access to ice. We heat the upper part of the test tube with the flame of a lamp with alcohol. It is found that although the water boils on the surface, the ice cube does not melt. The explanation is, at the bottom of the test tube, the water does not boil, but remains cold. It boils only in the upper part. We have ice in boiling water, but in fact, the ice is under the boiling water. Due to the heat, the water becomes lighter and remains at the top of the test tube, without including the dense beds at the bottom. The heating can be transmitted down only by thermal conductivity, which is very low in water. And then there's the experiment. So as you can see, it starts to boil.
And
that's it.
Water. The variation of water density with temperature between 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Surface tension of water represented by us.
Hi, I'm Paula with the test, and in the next few moments, I'll do an experiment called surface water tension. I will need 2 dishes, water, a detergent, and 2 pints of salt. First up, I will fill the first vessel with water. And put the canvas on the surface of the water. We notice that the canvas floats on the water for a long time. In the other bowl, we will add water. And 2 or 3 drops of detergent and stir. Then we put the other cloth on the water. And we will find that it soaks in a short time with water and goes down to the bottom of the boat. Composition. Hydrogen bonds are formed between water molecules and due to the tendency of the occupy a volume as small as possible, the cloth is soaked with water only for a period of time. But when detergent is added, the forces of attraction between the molecules are resolved and the cloth is removed very quickly.
Thank you guys very much for watching. That was our presentation, and we are very happy that you stayed for the longest time to being able to see that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it was also very interesting.
Our poster for this project and our poster for these activities. Is here.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, my students made all.
Thank you for that. Make sure you put it on Facebook.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, are you ready to watch our presentations now?
Yeah.
Aren't you too cold? So I'll pass it over to our students. They've also got 4 presentations and they will share them with you. Okay? Kayla, could you pass the host to us?
Can you repeat?
Could you pass the host to us so that we can share the screen? Okay, do you know how to do it? Nie wiem, czy można. Nie ma. Ale nie ma. Girls, could you pass the host to us? Because we can't share the screen. Do you know how to do it?
Okay. Well, what can I do?
Well,
I don't know.
if you click the mouse in the top right corner of our I don't know, of our screen, there is this drop down menu, and what you can do is you can pass the host to us. You can make us the hosts.
Can you repeat? I can't.
Yes. So in the top right corner of our screen, there are like 3 dots. There are like 3 dots on a blue background. And if you click on it, there's a drop-down menu, and you have to make us the host.
No, zapraszam was w jednym czasie. No, ale to
Can you see the what's in the top right corner of our screen?
If I find the button participants, if you see it on the bottom of the screen, do you see the participants?
Yeah.
Click on the participants, and then you'll see 3 names. When you move your mouse to Peter, you'll see options more, and make a host.
Right here, right? More and host, right? Make host. You want to change host?
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's working now. Thank you very much.
Why roofs break under the pressure of snow? Building disasters. There were some building disasters in the last years, so let's name few of them. Roof of magazine hall in Rzeszów broke in 2021, and roof of hall broke on the area of International Katowice Fair in 2006. We were divided into 2 teams who weighed 2 types of snow, light and heavy. So to calculate mass of snow, we need to know its density, and to do it, we will need a container that shows us the volume and a scale to weigh the container and the snow in it. We put snow in the container and weighed it. Experiment number 1. First group, 30 centimeters of light snow on surface of 30 meters times 50 meters. We took light snow to a container in which we can measure the volume. First, we weighed the container only, which is their weight. It came around 55 grams. Then we weighed snow and container gross weight, which is just everything. It was around 130 grams. Step 1. Calculating the volume of snow. We can assume that the snow on the roof is a cuboid with height equal to the height of snow on the roof. Volume is A times B times C, which is one side times second side times the height, which in our example is 50 times 30 times 0.3, which is 450 meters cubed. Step 2. Calculating the mass of snow. Container was 1 liter. Container of 1 liter weighed 5.5 grams, and snow in the container. Snow and the container weighed 130 grams. So net weight, which is what we want, that's the only weight of the snow only, is gross weight minus tear weight. It's 130 grams minus 55 grams, which is 75 grams, and that's the mass of the snow. Next, we calculated the density of the snow. Density is just mass divided by volume. So we got our mass, which is everything which is the mass of the snow on the roof divided by the volume of that snow, and it came to be 75 kilograms per meter cubed. Step 4, calculating the weight of snow. Weight, or rather force, of the snow is mass times gravitational pull, which is 127,950 kilograms times the gravitational constant. Well, not constant, it's around 9.81 newtons per kilogram, which came to be around 331,088 newtons. Experiment number 2. Second group, 10 centimeters of heavy snow on surface of 30 meters times 50 meters. We did same things there, so we just took a snow. Now it was more packed, more heavy, and we weighed the container, which was around 17 grams, and the snow and the container, which was around 870 grams. First, we calculated the volume of the snow on the roof, which again is 30 times 50. That's the size. Now only the height changed. It is 0.1 meter, and it came to be 150 meters cubed. Step 2, calculating the mass of snow. We have the container again, which weighed 17 grams, and snow in the container with the container itself, which was 870 grams. So again, we calculated the net weight to be 833 grams. Step 2, calculating the mass of snow. Now we just calculated the mass by taking how much we had, which was 1 liter, and we wanted it to be 150 meters cubed. So we just multiplied the mass of the snow and the volume 150,000 times. It came to be 127,950 kilograms, which is around 128 tons. Step 3, calculating the density of a snow. Density is again mass divided by volume, and it came to be 833 kilograms per meter cubed. Step 4, calculating the weight. Again, we just took the mass of the snow and multiplied it by the gravity on Earth, and it was 1,255,190 newtons. Now we compared the weight of light and heavy snow to see which one was heavier, and to take the one to see why the roofs break under the pressure of it. So light snow was 331,088 newtons. Heavy snow was 1,255,190 newtons. So we just subtracted the mass of light snow from heavy snow, and heavy snow got to be 924,102 newtons heavier. Now we had to check the typical roof's durability. To do it, we took the durability of steel S235, and as the name says, its durability is 235 megapascals, which is 23,500,000 kilograms per square meter of steel with a thickness of 1 meter. If 10 centimeters of heavy snow fell on a building with roof made of steel S235 and supports every meter, the roof would not fall. It would just stand pretty well. Now we will reduce the density of arrangement of supports. If the supports would, for instance, be arranged every 5 meters, then we need to divide it by the durability of material by 25, because now we need to just take that to the. We need to square the number by which we reduce the density of supports. So if we took the 5 meters between supports, the roof's durability would only be 940,000 kilograms. Then, even then, that's more than snow that is on it, and we calculated that the roof's durability with snow on it would just not be enough after a little more than 40 meters. Thanks for your attention.
Okay, so hi, I'm from physics group, and I'm gonna present to you. So I am from the physics group, and physics in the winter time, solidification and melting process. What is melting? So melting is the change of state from solid into liquid. From thermodynamics point of view, melting is a phase transition. Okay. Therefore, it cannot happen without heat change. When does melting occur? Melting requires the increase of internal energy of solid, which means delivering heat, thanks to which solid molecules change their structure. It takes place in a particular constant temperature for substance, so-called melting point. The examples of melting. Icicles formation. Icicles usually form when the outdoor air temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius. But sunshine warms some ice or snow lying on the roof or the tree branches, and as a result, it melts. As it drips off, a water droplet freezes when it loses its heat to the cold air. An icicle starts with a few frozen droplets. When it reaches a certain size, drops begin to drip along the side of the structure. The examples of melting. A thaw. A thaw is a period of warmer weather when snow and ice melt, usually at the end of winter, when the average temperature of air is above 0 degrees. It lasts until the whole snow cap melts. Thaws are also one of the main causes of floods. Okay. What is solidification? Solidification is the change of state from a liquid to a solid. When does solidification occur? Solidification is an exothermic process, meaning heat is released when a liquid changes into a solid and the molecules change their structure. Solidification is an opposite process to melting. It takes place in a typical temperature for substance, so-called the temperature of solidification. The examples of solidification: freezing of lakes and rivers during sub-zero temperatures, desublimation. What is desublimation? Desublimation is a phase transition in which gas turns into solid without passing through the liquid state. Desublimation is the reverse of sublimation. The examples of desublimation: water vapor in cold air freezes into ice. Formation of ice crystals in the air, which are falling on the ground in the form of drizzle. Formation of hoarfrost, hail, or dew, etc. And there's a summary. With solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. What is hoarfrost? It's an atmosphere sewage forming tiny ice crystals in the form of needles, feathers on a horizontal surface. Hoarfrost doesn't appear only in the summer period, so-called frost-free period. We can observe it during autumn and spring. In winter, it may occur on the ice cap. How does hoarfrost form? Hoarfrost forms when the temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius and water vapor in the air condenses on solid surfaces. The water vapor transits directly from gas into tiny crystals, which is called desublimation. Pressure. So pressure is a physical force exerted on an object. So pressure is force divided by surface. Snow and pressure. When we walk on the snow wearing shoes, we usually fall in it. This happens because of the pressure. Our solid surfaces are tiny, thus the pressure exerted on snow is bigger. Skis have bigger surface, which also means less pressure. So basically when ice skating. Probably most of ice skaters do not wonder what makes ice skating possible. We can ice skate thanks to pressure which is exerted by ice skates on ice. This force is caused by steel just rubbing the ice. As a result, the ice melts and water makes ice skating possible. Okay. Tutaj. O, jest. Kończy.
Idźcie z tego i wiecie, co
Okej.
Stop.
No nie.
Kliknij to. Stop.
Tutaj.
Ale
to robi. Cały czas.
Sorry, can you see our presentation? Can you see it? Because we've got a problem. So you can see it. So there's no need for us to do anything. Okay, sorry.
Okay. The Mpemba effect is when hot water freezes faster than cold. It was first observed in the 1965 schoolboy Erasmus Mpemba, who claimed in his science class that ice cream would freeze faster if it was heated first before being put in the freezer. What causes Mpemba effect? It can be caused by water steaming, accelerated heat conduction, reducing the capacity of water by steaming half of it when less energy is required for its freezing. When can you observe Mpemba effect? You can observe it even in home conditions when the temperature outside is low. Try to throw heated liquid in the air and it will probably freeze. Thermal expansion. Thermal expansion of matter is a change of its capacity in response to a change in temperature. It occurs in solids, liquids, and gases. During thermal expansion of matter, its atoms and molecules move faster and tend to move away from each other. With a few exceptions, almost every matter, regardless of its state of aggregation, expands while heated and reduces while being frozen. Examples of thermal expansion: railways, connections, and steel constructions of bridges require using slots. Due to the fact that in summer, steel span of the bridge may be even half a meter shorter than in winter, that's when so-called comps are used to connect particular parts of the bridge. Telephone or electrical power lines are usually hung loosely during summer to prevent them from breaking. But when it is cold, they have to be hung properly in order not to change its height. And that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, welcome again. Our group is gonna present winter from the chemistry. I'm sorry. Let's just start
Point of view.
yeah, from chemistry point of view.
Snow and ice in winter are frozen water. Water is a very unusual substance. In our presentation, we would like to present its remarkable properties. Water exists in three states of matter: liquid, solid, and gas, depending on temperature and pressure. In winter, we observe it mainly in the form of a solid, ice and snow. Changes in the physical state of water occur continuously in nature. The diagram shows the changes in the winter state. The most important properties of water are presented in the table. Those are liquid, clear, odorless, and changes states of aggregation.
The water molecule is made up of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 atom of oxygen, which are linked together by a covalent polarized bond. Therefore, the molecule as a whole is electrically neutral. The electric charge is not distributed symmetrically. The water molecule as a whole behaves like a dipole. When water molecules are close together, the positively and negatively charged regions of the molecules attract each other by electrostatic forces. So-called hydrogen bonds form. These are what make water have quite amazing properties. A crystal lattice with a loose structure resembling interconnected hollow tunnels is formed. These holes in the middle of the tunnels cause the density of the ice to be less than that of the water, which is why the ice flows on the water.
At 4 degrees Celsius, water has the lowest volume and highest density. Therefore, it sinks to the bottom of a lake or other reservoir. This allows the fish to survive a harsh winter. The process of formation of hydrogen bonds leads to the association of water molecules. Association is a process during which single water molecules join together, and as a result, bigger units are formed. The phenomenon of water association can be observed in winter, either when it snows or when water freezes. Then various types of ice structures emerge.
Snowflakes can have various structures. In winter, they can fall from the sky. Stenoplates, columns, hexagonal plates, fern-like stellar dome tracks. In winter, near our school, in Rymanów, you can see beautiful ice falls. In our refrigerators, however, we can observe winter every day in the form of frozen fruit. Fruits and vegetables have the highest water content in food. For example, strawberry 90% and cucumber 96%. How to quickly remove ice? Watch our video.
Let's change it to the video. Okay, can you see it?
the end of our presentation, a few winter curiosities. 12% of our planet's land surface is covered with solid snow and ice. Snow and glaciers account as much as 80% of the world's water resources.
Snow is not white at all. It's actually transparent. The whiteness we see is only the result of the reflection of light in the ice crystals. The world's largest snowflakes appeared on January 28, 1887 in Montana, USA. They were 38 centimeters long and over 20 centimeters thick.
Although snowflakes come in an infinite number of shapes, they have only one thing in common. Each is six-pointed.
In winter, our skin loses water faster than in summer. This is due to the alternating effects of frost and air in heated rooms on our skin.
That is the end of the presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Plants. Low temperature. Low temperature affects an inside of the cell where there is a water. It causes water to freeze inside of the cell, which then lead to expanding of the cell and inside damages. Lower temperature may decrease phytoenzyme activities, what then interferes with nutrition intake and may lead to stopping the growth of the plant or even cause its death.
I prepared an experiment showing slow metabolism in plant cells on the example of plasmolysis. Plasmolysis is a process of shrinking of withdrawing the protoplasm of a plant cell due to the loss of water in that cell. This process is one of the results of osmosis. How to do it step by step. 2 carrots, one at the room temperature, one from the refrigerator. Now drill the hole inside carrots. Put the salt inside carrots. Due to the difference in concentration, plasmolysis will occur. And now 1 carrot should be left at room temperature. Second one goes to the refrigerator for 3 hours. After this time, put the first one into hot water and the second one into cold water to increase the process. Now we should wait another 3 hours to observe the ongoing process of plasmolysis, for example, the escape of water from the carrot cells. In warm water, plasmolysis occurs much faster. Conclusion. Low temperature slows metabolic process in plant cells. Plasmolysis is microscopic.
Animals. Species living close to the poles, for example, Arctic foxes, polar bears or muskies, are acquainted by nature in given water which contains 2 layers. Close to the skin is dense, short fat layer, and outside there is long square, empty inside which creates with no lesion. His body is protected by 2 layers of waterproof fibers, but yet the animals living in the extreme low temperatures are protected not only by the outer layer but also
by isolating a layer of fat underneath their skin. They can survive the winter if the water circulates slowly down metabolism, vulnerably freezing. This unreliable adaptation ability has caused some stresses of stress. When the temperature is falling down, the liver of the frogs is starting to produce glucose, which is then discarded in the body by cells. Thanks to the glucose, ice crystals are formed in the intercell space of the body of slowly freezing frog, which prevents cells from deterioration, allowing the frog contact to live at springtime. The chryophytes, extremophiles organisms living at low temperatures, they inhabit the structures of ice, snow, etc. They are the part of cryophytes.
Natalia and Claudia have prepared an experiment showing the fusion of warm and cold water. You have to know the fusion is the process of molecules of fluids and acids, combining from highest to lowest concentration. It occurs in each department of the cell and affects the cells uncovering them. As we've seen in an experiment, this process runs a lot slower. Human body. Temperature stability only applies to the inside of the body. It affects the chest holdings, abdominal cavity, the inside of the head and blood. In a healthy person, it is 36 to 37.2 degrees Celsius, regardless of the external conditions. The temperature of the limbs and surface layers is cold-blooded and it largely depends on external factors. This surface coldness helps to maintain a constant internal temperature. This is possible due to the activity of microcirculation and changes in the intensity of cellular metabolic processes leading to heat production. Disturbance of homeostasis associated with the disturbance in the functioning of thermal regulation. Using these damage to one of the elements of the thermal regulation center located in the pituitary gland or exposure to extreme external temperatures. The result is then a state of hypothermia, a state caused by the body cooling down too quickly in relation to its ability to generate heat. Body temperature below 35 degrees Celsius, or hypothermia, increases in body temperature, overheating. With an efficiently operating thermal regulation center, both high and low ambient temperature are strong stimulus that triggers a number of defense processes.
We can control our temperature on three ways. 1. Internal thermoreceptors control the temperature inside the body and on its surface. The hypothalamus manages the data in the thermoregulation center. It is our biological thermostat. Analyzes and manages all information about the body temperature. 3. Circulatory system and sweat glands. It consists in the exchange of heat between the body and the environment in amount that allows maintain a constant temperature inside the body.
The body diverts blood flow from the surface as the temperature drops, so the most important parts stay warm the longest. This allows the body's core to be protected for longer. If blood flow is gone from the extremities for too long, the cells start to die. Depending on the severity of the damage, new cells will either replace the old or the part of the body is lost to frostbite.
Gabriela has prepared an experiment.
Ale muszę poczuć film. Nie ten. Zimno w panu? Na pulpicie.
It turned out that the left hand, the one that is hot in hot water, in the cold water thinks that this water is icy, and certainly much colder than it really is. On the other hand, the second one, which was first in ice cold water, and then in cold water, feels that the water is warm. After such a temperature change, which affected the hands, our brain received contradictory information. Thank you for your attention.
Magda, I'm sorry, but it's time my students have to go to bus because our program is...
Yes, I see. We've just finished.
In another meeting, we have to cancel the meeting early.
Okay.
Because at 1:30, most of the students go to home.
That's okay. We've just finished, guys. We have just finished. So thank you very much for being with us till the end. You've been very patient, and see you next time.
Hour, but 11 o'clock maybe.
Yes.
Because most of the students have to take the bus to go home.
Okay, no problem. See you guys next time.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.
Bye.
Nie wychodźcie, Jura, stańcie za chwilę. Ja nie wiem, zginiecie na lekcję. Słuchajcie, ja chciałam przede wszystkim bardzo wam podziękować.